You made that endorsement in 2020. Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
The rats are fleeing the sinking ship, gang. They are sounding the retreat. Biden is imploding, and all the suckers like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that endorsed him back in 2020 are turning their backs on him for 2024. We got a huge development right now as we speak. Trump is poised to be the very first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. This is huge, and it's yet the latest reason for why Democrats are increasingly panicking. Also, massive victory for the European farmers. I'm just going to tell you straight out, they've won. They've won. They've won virtually every concession they've demanded from the bullies in Brussels. This is going to absolutely make your day. Hey, gang, with everything going on right now, it's hard to say what could happen or what will happen. And to make matters even worse, we usually don't find out until it's too late. But when it comes to your money, you should understand what's at stake. That's why I partnered with Goldco. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of hedging future risks with the timeless value of gold and silver. And that's why you've got to click on the link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit. Gang, it's an amazing free resource that shows you step-by-step how to get into precious metals tax-free and penalty-free, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. And the best part is that you may already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. You've seen the writing on the wall. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit right now, because this is about taking back control of your freedom and your privacy. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly prepare for it. So don't wait. Take action now to defend your freedom, your privacy, and your future. Click on that link below right now. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. What can I say? Democrats are freaking out. I mean, make no mistake, they are panicked. They are really beginning to come to the realization that it's looking increasingly likely not that just Biden is going to lose in November, but he's going to lose in an unbelievable landslide. Here's the late night clown, Jimmy Kimmel, channeling precisely that inner Democrat panic.
Not only is he still the front runner, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll, Trump leads Biden in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, all important states, which just gives me a headache. How could this be? I mean, he doesn't even lead in a poll of people who worked for him. His own.
How is this guy funny? I mean, if ever there was an indictment of the fall of Western civilization, there it is. There, do you just compare that guy to Johnny Carson, right? Steve Allen. You know, my dad was actually college roommates with Steve Allen. Don Rickles. I mean, just or just even frankly, David Letterman or Jay Leno for that matter. I mean, the way this Kimmel figure is so outclassed by those guys. I mean, again, he's not even funny. It's not that he's not even funny. He's not even interesting. I mean, anyway, Kimmel is channeling that inner panic there. Make no mistake. He is channeling that inner panic setting in among Democrats all across the country. They are seriously starting to freak out. There's actually a poll. It just came out the other day that confirms this. Democrats are far more worried about Trump than Republicans are about Biden. 66% of Democrats are extremely fearful. That's the phrase used in the poll. Extremely fearful. Nearly 70% of Democrats are extremely fearful of another Trump term, and yet another 11% are saying they are somewhat fearful. So all told, 77% of Democrats, nearly 80% of Democrats are freaking out in some way, shape, or form over a Trump return. By contrast, just 49% of Republicans are worried about a second Biden term. 18% are somewhat fearful. So there's a clear discrepancy between these two groups. Democrats are overwhelmingly freaking out. Again, they're not going to, you're not necessarily going to hear this from the legacy media. The lying legacy media is doing everything they possibly can to try to breathe some life into this fledgling Biden campaign, right? They're pushing this pathetic comeback narrative. Oh, he's rising in the polls. Biden's surging. He's got Trump on his heels, right? That's what we've heard over the last 2 weeks. But I think I showed you earlier this week in a video, when you average out the latest polls in the RCP aggregate, right? So the Real Clear Politics aggregate, it just averages out all the polls. If you look at that aggregate over the last couple of weeks, take a look at it. I mean, do you believe your own eyes? Take a look at it. There's no surge. The blue line is basically flat. That's Biden's line. There is no surge. It's all a legacy media fabrication. There have been a couple of polls that show Biden up, but they are very, very problematic in their methodology. There's the latest one that just came from Pennsylvania that has Biden up by 10, and it's so absurd. It's from one of these outlets that have one of the worst records, but they're there to try to pump up Biden's aggregate numbers because he's just getting so pummeled. Actually, when all said and done, all you got to do is look at the state of Minnesota. Trump is just 3 points behind Biden in freaking Minnesota. Dude. I mean, dude, look at that. Rich Barris of the People's Pundit, he had some inside information on Minnesota a couple of weeks back. This is before we saw this RCP average coming out. He reported that Biden's actually being forced to spend money, lots of it, in freaking Minnesota, in the state that voted for Walter Mondale in 1984. And Rich pointed out brilliantly, I mean, if Biden is having to defend Minnesota, one of the bluest of blue states on the planet, what do you think things are really like in Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania? Well, now we know as of this week, right? We talked about the big data Pennsylvania poll that dropped earlier this week. Trump is now trouncing Biden by 5 in Pennsylvania. He's trouncing Biden by freaking 5 in Pennsylvania. That's crazy. Now, again, that will probably most likely end up, getting closer, no question. But I mean, a 5-point advantage, 5 points, 45.7 over Biden, 40.3. And by the way, it widens when you bring in the other 3 candidates, RFK Jr., Jill Stein, Cornel West. And then when you look at Michigan, that poll just dropped the other day. Trump is now leading Biden by nearly 4 when you factor in RFK Jr. and Jill Stein and the others. So Trump really does at this point look like he's pulling away here. We talked yesterday about the key swing state of Arizona. All 15 counties in Arizona, all 15, every single one, have been trending Republican in terms of voter identification and registration since 2020. Yuma and Navajo counties have actually flipped to the GOP. We're even seeing massive gains in counties dominated by Native Americans. Maricopa County, by far the largest county in Arizona, right, is now +6 Republican, up from plus 3.9 Republican in 2020. And that's key because the one who wins Maricopa wins Arizona. And Arizona as a whole has doubled their Republican advantage. They moved from a plus 2.7 Republican advantage to now a plus 5.8, a near plus 6 Republican advantage. A lot of this is trending towards this. A lot of this trend towards Republicans, and especially towards Trump, is coming from the Latino vote. Latinos are defecting from the Democrats. They are moving overwhelmingly towards the Republicans as they begin to align their voting with their conservative values. And what all this means, gang, is that Trump really does appear poised to pull off in 2024 what no Republican has been able to do in 20 years.